There are moments in life that seem ordinary on the surface but shake the unseen world in ways we cannot imagine. For the chosen ones watching this video, something like that may have already happened in your life. A decision you made quietly, a kindness you offered when no one else cared, a sacrifice you made while your heart was breaking. To everyone around you, it may have looked small, but in the spiritual realm, it echoed like thunder. And today, we're talking about that moment, the act that made heaven pause and pay attention. The truth many people don't realize is that the universe measures actions very differently than humans do. People applaud fame, wealth, and recognition, but heaven often celebrates humility, courage, and quiet obedience. When you chose integrity over revenge, when you walked away instead of hurting someone, when you forgave someone who never apologized, that moment carried a weight far greater than you realize. Sometimes, the strongest spiritual actions happen in silence. Imagine this: billions of people live their lives chasing approval from others, yet you made a choice that came from a deeper place, your soul. That kind of action sends ripples across the unseen world. It is the kind of moment that makes divine forces take notice. It's the kind of moment that makes angels pause and say, "Did you see that?" If you resonate with this message, take a moment right now and support the mission of Mirror of the Soul by tapping the like button and subscribing to the channel. Your support helps these messages reach people who are going through the exact awakening you may already be experiencing. Sometimes, a single video can arrive at the perfect moment in someone's life. And here's a powerful question to reflect on. Have you ever done something that felt small to others but deeply meaningful to your soul? Share your experience in the comments. Your story may inspire someone else who is struggling right now. Angels are often described as witnesses to human life, beings who observe our choices and guide us quietly. But there are rare moments when a human action is so powerful that even angels are surprised. Not because they doubt humanity, but because true spiritual courage is incredibly rare in today's world. Think about the environment most people live in today. Social media encourages comparison. Society rewards ego and selfish ambition. Kindness is often mistaken for weakness. In a world like that, choosing love, forgiveness, or integrity requires tremendous strength. It requires you to stand against the current while everyone else drifts along with it. That's exactly why your act mattered so much. Perhaps you forgave someone who deeply hurt you. Perhaps you refused to betray your values even when it would have benefited you. Or maybe you helped someone who could never repay you. These are the kinds of moments that reveal the true nature of a soul. Psychologists have even studied how rare genuine altruism can be. Studies in behavioral science show that most people tend to act primarily in their own self-interest. Yet throughout history, there have always been individuals who break that pattern, people who choose compassion, even when it costs them something. Those individuals often become the catalysts for change in the lives of others. If this message resonates with you, comment the word "chosen" below. It's not about ego, it's about acknowledging the responsibility that comes with spiritual awareness. And if you're new to Mirror of the Soul, consider subscribing so you never miss messages that speak directly to the awakening journey. Now let's talk about the most mysterious part of this story, the reaction from the divine. The title of this video might sound dramatic, but it reflects a deeper spiritual truth. The universe responds powerfully when a human acts from their highest nature. Many spiritual traditions describe God not as a distant observer, but as a living presence that feels, responds, and interacts with creation. When a person rises above pain, fear, or anger and chooses love instead, it sends a signal throughout the spiritual realm. It's like lighting a candle in the middle of darkness. Think about it this way. Darkness spreads easily because it requires no effort, but light requires intention. When you chose to act from light, you disrupted patterns that many people spend their entire lives repeating. You broke a cycle, maybe a cycle of anger, betrayal, or negativity that had been passed down for generations. That kind of moment is not just important for you. It can shift the trajectory of many lives around you. One act of integrity can inspire another person to act with courage. One moment of forgiveness can heal years of bitterness. One decision to walk away from toxicity can set an example that others eventually follow. This is why the spiritual world responds so strongly to moments like that, because they prove something incredibly powerful. Humans are capable of extraordinary goodness even in the darkest circumstances. Many chosen ones spend years fighting battles that no one around them ever notices. These are not battles fought with fists or loud arguments. They are fought in silence, in your mind, in your heart, and in the quiet decisions you make when life pushes you to your limits. There were nights when you felt completely alone, nights when you questioned everything, nights when it seemed like the universe itself had turned against you. Yet somehow, you kept going. That silent resilience is one of the most powerful acts a soul can perform. The world often celebrates loud victories. People applaud the person who wins the trophy, the person who gains wealth, the person who becomes famous. But heaven often celebrates a very different kind of victory, the person who refuses to let pain turn them into someone bitter, the person who continues to choose compassion even after being hurt repeatedly, the person who keeps faith even when circumstances seem hopeless. That is the victory many chosen ones achieve quietly. You may remember a time when someone tried to break your spirit. Maybe they mocked your dreams, betrayed your trust, or tried to make you doubt your worth. In those moments, you had two choices. You could allow that pain to harden your heart, or you could rise above it and grow stronger. The fact that you're here listening to this message suggests you chose growth. That decision alone speaks volumes about the strength within your soul. Psychologists often talk about something called post-traumatic growth, the idea that some individuals emerge from hardship stronger, wiser, and more compassionate than before. While many people collapse under pressure, others transform because of it. Chosen ones often belong to that second group. The pain they endure becomes the very force that shapes their wisdom and emotional depth. One of the greatest misunderstandings in the modern world is the belief that only visible achievements matter. Society constantly pushes the idea that success must be public and measurable. But in the deeper spiritual sense, many of the most important victories happen completely unseen. Heaven celebrates those quiet moments when you choose character over convenience. Think about the times you resisted doing something wrong even when nobody would have noticed. Perhaps you refused to lie even though it would have made life easier. Maybe you returned honesty where others expected deception. These are the small moral decisions that shape the destiny of a soul. Each of them might seem insignificant on the surface, but together they create a powerful spiritual identity. There is a reason ancient spiritual traditions emphasize integrity so strongly. Integrity is what you do when nobody is watching. It is the quiet alignment between your actions and your values. When you live with that alignment, you create a kind of internal peace that many people spend their entire lives searching for but rarely find. Imagine two people standing at the same crossroads in life. One chooses the easy path of shortcuts and selfish decisions. The other chooses patience, honesty, and compassion, even when it's harder. Years later, the difference between those two paths becomes enormous. One life may be filled with temporary rewards but inner emptiness, while the other becomes a source of wisdom and inspiration for others. There is something unique about people who walk the path of awakening. It's not always visible from the outside, but there is a certain depth in the way they think, feel, and respond to life. Chosen ones often carry a strength that was forged through adversity. They have faced emotional storms that many people never see, and those experiences shape them into individuals who understand life on a deeper level. One sign of this hidden strength is emotional awareness. Many chosen ones are highly sensitive to the emotions and energies around them. They can sense tension in a room before anyone speaks. They can feel when someone is hurting even if that person is pretending to be fine. This heightened awareness can feel overwhelming at times, but it is also a powerful gift. Another quality that often appears in chosen ones is resilience. Life may knock them down repeatedly, yet they continue to rise. Instead of allowing setbacks to define them, they treat those setbacks as lessons. Each challenge becomes a stepping stone toward greater wisdom. Over time, this resilience creates a calm inner confidence that others can feel when they are around you. History is filled with examples of individuals who transformed suffering into strength. Many great leaders, teachers, and visionaries endured tremendous hardship before they found their purpose. Their struggles did not destroy them, they prepared them. In the same way, many chosen ones discover that their painful experiences were shaping them for something meaningful. One of the most painful experiences for many chosen ones is realizing that not everyone will understand the light you carry. In fact, sometimes the very qualities that make you special, your kindness, your empathy, your ability to see good in others, are the same qualities that attract misunderstanding, jealousy, or even hostility. People who are not ready to face their own darkness often react strongly to someone who reflects truth back to them. Think about it for a moment. When you walk into a room with genuine energy, people feel it. Some people feel inspired by it, but others feel uncomfortable because your authenticity reminds them of the parts of themselves they have ignored or suppressed. Instead of confronting those feelings, they may choose to criticize or distance themselves from you. It's not because you did something wrong, it's because your presence triggers reflection. Many chosen ones have experienced situations where they try to help someone, only to be rejected or misunderstood. You offered kindness, but it was interpreted as weakness. You offered honesty, but it was perceived as judgment. This can feel confusing and heartbreaking at first, but with time, you begin to understand something important. Not everyone is ready for the kind of honesty and compassion you bring into the world. Psychologists call this phenomenon projection. When people struggle with their own insecurities or unresolved emotions, they often project those feelings onto others. Instead of addressing their own fears or pain, they blame someone else for making them uncomfortable. Chosen ones often become targets of projection simply because they stand out from the crowd. There comes a moment in many chosen ones' journeys when something shifts. It's not always dramatic or obvious. Sometimes it happens quietly, almost invisibly. But inside you, a transformation takes place. The same challenges that once drained your energy no longer control you. The same people who once made you doubt yourself no longer hold that power. This shift often comes after a long period of reflection and growth. You begin to understand your own patterns, your strengths, and your boundaries. You stop trying to prove your worth to people who never appreciated it. Instead, you start focusing on building a life that aligns with your values and your purpose. When this transformation happens, the dynamics around you begin to change as well. People who once underestimated you start to notice something different. Your confidence becomes quieter but stronger. Your decisions become more intentional. You no longer chase approval because you have discovered something more valuable, self-respect. In today's fast-paced and competitive world, kindness is often misunderstood. Many people believe that being compassionate or forgiving makes someone vulnerable or easy to take advantage of. But true kindness is not weakness. It is strength guided by wisdom. It requires emotional intelligence, patience, and courage. Think about the times when you chose kindness even when it was difficult. Perhaps someone hurt you deeply, yet you refused to become bitter. Perhaps you helped someone who had previously ignored you. Those choices required more strength than reacting with anger or revenge ever would have. Anyone can lash out in frustration, but it takes real character to respond with grace. Scientific research actually supports this idea. Studies in psychology have shown that people who practice empathy and compassion tend to build stronger relationships and experience greater long-term emotional well-being. Kindness creates connection, and connection is one of the most powerful forces in human life. Chosen ones often struggle with this lesson because they have experienced people taking advantage of their generosity. Over time, however, They learn the difference between kindness and self-sacrifice. Being kind does not mean allowing others to disrespect your boundaries. True strength lies in balancing compassion with self-respect. If you believe kindness is still one of the most powerful forces in the world, let's spread that message together. Tap the like button to help this video reach more people, and subscribe to Mirror of the Soul for more discussions about personal growth and spiritual awakening. There is a universal principle that many people forget when life becomes difficult. Every action creates a ripple. Every choice, every word, every intention sends energy into the world that eventually finds its way back. This is not just a spiritual belief. It is a pattern observed in human relationships and life experiences. When you consistently choose integrity, patience, and compassion, you are planting seeds that will one day grow into unexpected blessings. For a long time, it may have felt like those seeds were disappearing into the soil without any sign of growth. You watched others take shortcuts and gain quick rewards. You saw people lie, manipulate, or betray others and still appear to succeed. During those moments, it's natural to wonder whether doing the right thing truly matters. Many chosen ones have wrestled with that doubt at some point in their journey. But life has a way of revealing the deeper truth over time. The same shortcuts that create temporary success often lead to long-term instability. Relationships built on dishonesty eventually crumble. Achievements gained through manipulation often collapse under their own weight. Meanwhile, the quiet consistency of someone who lives with integrity builds something far more lasting. Think of it like planting a tree. When you first plant it, the progress is invisible. For months, sometimes years, you see little change above the ground. Yet beneath the surface, roots are spreading and strengthening. By the time the tree finally begins to grow visibly, it has already developed the foundation needed to survive storms. Your life may be going through a similar process right now. There are moments in life when your loyalty is tested in ways you never expected. These tests often arrive during your lowest points, when you feel exhausted, misunderstood, or tempted to give up entirely. In those moments, it becomes easy to believe that no one sees your efforts or appreciates your sacrifices. But loyalty has a unique power. When you remain faithful to your values even when circumstances become painful, you demonstrate something rare. Loyalty is not simply staying committed when things are easy. It is staying true to your principles when walking away would be the easier option. Many chosen ones have experienced seasons where they felt forgotten or overlooked. Perhaps you stayed honest in a workplace where dishonesty was common. Perhaps you remained loyal in a relationship where others would have chosen revenge. Those moments may have felt lonely, but they revealed the depth of your character. History is filled with stories of people who were tested in similar ways before their purpose became clear. Leaders, visionaries, and spiritual teachers often faced years of doubt before their impact was recognized. Their loyalty during difficult times became the foundation of their future influence. Patience is one of the most misunderstood qualities in modern life. In a world driven by instant results and constant urgency, waiting often feels frustrating and discouraging. But patience is not passive. It is a form of quiet strength. It is the ability to trust that growth is happening even when you cannot yet see the results. Think about the periods of your life when you felt stuck. Perhaps you were working hard without recognition. Perhaps you were waiting for a breakthrough that seemed endlessly delayed. During those moments, it can feel as though time itself is standing still. Yet those seasons often serve an important purpose. Patience allows you to develop skills, wisdom, and emotional resilience. If success arrived too quickly, many people would not be prepared to handle it. The waiting period gives you time to grow into the person capable of carrying the responsibilities that come with your future. When people look at the difficult chapters of their lives, they often see only pain, confusion, and loss. But what many chosen ones eventually realize is that those difficult chapters were actually preparing them for something far greater than they initially understood. What once felt like chaos may have been a carefully designed training ground for the strength you carry today. Think back to the moments that tested you the most, the heartbreaks that shattered your expectations, the betrayals that forced you to rebuild your trust, the failures that pushed you to question your direction. At the time, those experiences may have felt unfair or overwhelming. You may have wondered why life seemed harder for you than for others around you. But struggle has a unique way of shaping a person's character. Just as metal becomes stronger when it passes through intense heat, the human spirit often becomes more resilient through adversity. Many of the world's most inspiring individuals did not rise because their lives were easy. They rose because their hardships forced them to grow in ways others never had to. You may not have realized it while you were going through those difficult seasons, but every challenge was teaching you something valuable. Perhaps you learned how to set stronger boundaries. Perhaps you discovered compassion for others who are hurting. Perhaps you gained the courage to walk away from situations that no longer served your growth. There comes a moment in many people's lives when everything begins to shift in ways they never expected. After years of patience, effort, and perseverance, opportunities start appearing at just the right time. Doors that once seemed permanently closed suddenly begin to open. Relationships that once felt complicated begin to heal or transform. For chosen ones, this moment often feels almost surreal. After so many years of struggle and uncertainty, it can be difficult to believe that life is finally moving in a positive direction. You may even find yourself questioning whether you deserve the good things that are beginning to appear in your life. But this shift is rarely random. It is often the natural result of the growth and preparation that happened during the earlier stages of your journey. The patience you practiced, the lessons you learned, and the character you developed are now creating opportunities that align with the person you have become. It's important to remember that rewards do not always arrive in the form people expect. Sometimes the greatest rewards are clarity, peace of mind, and meaningful connections with others who share your values. These forms of success may not always look glamorous from the outside, but they create a deep sense of fulfillment that lasts far longer than temporary achievements. One of the most powerful transformations a person can experience is the moment when their perspective changes. Instead of seeing life as a series of random events, you begin to recognize patterns, lessons, and opportunities for growth hidden within your experiences. This shift in perspective can change the way you approach every challenge moving forward. Before this shift happens, many people feel trapped by their circumstances. They believe their past defines them and that their future is limited by the mistakes or difficulties they've experienced. But once the shift occurs, something remarkable happens. You begin to see those same experiences as sources of strength rather than limitations. Chosen ones often reach a stage where they stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What can this teach me?" That change in mindset opens the door to growth, creativity, and new possibilities. Instead of being controlled by the past, you begin using it as a guide for building a stronger future. Another powerful aspect of this shift is the way it influences the people around you. When others see someone who has transformed pain into wisdom, it inspires them to look at their own lives differently. Your journey becomes a reminder that even the most difficult experiences can lead to meaningful growth. Many chosen ones underestimate the power of their own story. When you are living through hardship, it can feel like your struggles are meaningless or even embarrassing. You might think that your mistakes, failures, and painful memories are things you should hide from the world. But in reality, those experiences often become the very things that inspire others the most. Think about the stories that move people deeply. Rarely are they about perfect lives with no struggles. Instead, they are stories about individuals who faced darkness and still found the courage to rise again. When someone hears about a person who endured betrayal, loss, or hardship and still managed to grow stronger, it creates hope. It reminds them that transformation is possible. Your story carries that same power. Every challenge you overcame, every lesson you learned, and every moment when you chose growth instead of bitterness has shaped a narrative that could help someone else find strength. Even the parts of your journey that felt like setbacks may become guiding lights for others walking a similar path. Sometimes you won't even realize the impact you are having. A single conversation, a kind word, or sharing your experience online might reach someone at the exact moment they needed encouragement. That is how influence often works. It spreads quietly and unexpectedly. For many people, purpose does not arrive as a sudden lightning strike. It unfolds slowly, piece by piece, as life experiences guide you toward a deeper understanding of yourself. At first, the path may feel confusing. You may try different directions, make mistakes, and question whether you're moving forward at all. But eventually, there comes a moment when the puzzle pieces begin to fit together. You start recognizing patterns in your life experiences. The struggles you faced begin to make sense. The lessons you learned start pointing toward something meaningful you can offer the world. Chosen ones often discover that their purpose is closely connected to their pain. Someone who overcame deep emotional wounds may become a source of healing for others. Someone who experienced betrayal may develop wisdom about trust and boundaries that helps guide others through similar situations. Purpose doesn't always mean becoming famous or changing the entire world. Sometimes it means changing the life of one person at a time. Sometimes it means simply living in a way that inspires those around you to grow, think deeper, and believe in their own potential. Every life leaves behind a legacy. Some people leave behind wealth or achievements, while others leave behind something even more powerful, an impact on the hearts and minds of those they encountered. Chosen ones often discover that their legacy is not measured by material success, but by the positive influence they have on others. Think about the people who shaped your life. Perhaps it was a teacher who believed in you, a friend who supported you during a difficult time, or a stranger whose kindness changed your perspective. Those individuals may not have realized how deeply they affected you, yet their influence continues to live within your memories. In the same way, your actions today are shaping the legacy you will leave behind. Every act of kindness, every moment of honesty, and every time you encourage someone who feels lost contributes to a ripple effect that can extend far beyond what you see. The beauty of this kind of legacy is that it grows over time. The person you help today may go on to help someone else tomorrow. In this way, your impact multiplies through countless lives, creating a chain reaction of positivity and growth. Awakening is not a single moment. It is an ongoing process. It is the gradual realization that life is far deeper and more meaningful than the surface-level distractions that dominate modern society. When someone begins to awaken, they start questioning things they once accepted without thought. Chosen ones often experience this awakening through a series of realizations. They begin to see through manipulation, recognize unhealthy patterns, and understand the importance of living authentically. Instead of following the crowd, they start listening to their inner voice and making decisions that align with their true values. This stage of awakening can sometimes feel lonely because it changes the way you see the world. Conversations that once seemed meaningful may start to feel shallow. Environments that once felt comfortable may begin to feel limiting. But this transformation also opens the door to deeper connections with people who share your awareness. Over time, awakening becomes less about rejecting the world and more about understanding it. You learn how to navigate challenges with wisdom instead of reacting impulsively. You begin to appreciate the lessons hidden within life's difficulties and recognize the growth they bring. As we reach the end of this message, there is one idea that stands above all the others. Your life matters more than you realize. Every decision you make, every challenge you overcome, and every moment of compassion you show contributes to a larger story unfolding around you. Sometimes it may feel like your actions are too small to make a difference, but history repeatedly shows that even the smallest acts can create enormous ripple effects. A kind word can change someone's day. A courageous decision can inspire others to stand up for what they believe in. You may never fully see the impact of your journey, but that does not mean it isn't real. The strength you develop through hardship, the wisdom you gained through experience, and the compassion you cultivated through empathy all contribute to a powerful presence in the world. So if you ever doubt yourself, remember this. The qualities that make you different are often the same qualities that allow you to bring light into places where others only see darkness. Your authenticity, your courage, and your willingness to grow are powerful forces. If this message touched your heart, take a moment right now to like the video, subscribe to Mirror of the Soul, and share this message with someone who might need encouragement today. And before you go, answer this final question in the comments. What is one lesson life has taught you that changed the way you see the world? Your answer might inspire someone who needs hope tonight.